What's wrong with make predictions fall and real? My name's Ben, and my name's Saul. We probably let's get it all.
I've said before, it's happening. Is it too extra? Is it too much? Do you hate it, don't you? Is this too pink, too glittery, too conflicts with the green screen? Justin, do you hate it?
No.
Do you love it? Do you love it? Do you love it? We've got 3 exciting items for you here on the Jimquisition today. Item 1, GameStop has some solemn words for this dark time we live in. Point 2, Gilson. Oh, there's more Gilson for you.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Point 3, I wanted to talk about this last week actually, but it's, well, I mean, I've talked about it many weeks. We're just going to have a fucking pop at Bobby Kotick. Why not?
All the flowers that you planted, mama.
So, like, you know that whole COVID-19 thing and how it's terrible and shit. You know how everyone's been stuck wasting over a year of their lives if they haven't died already. And you know all of the tragedy and the death and the overwhelming sense of shared loss and the sheer trauma we've all gone through, not to linger on any of it. To be honest though, despite my prodigious talent for communication, I do not have the linguistic skill to adequately describe the feelings we've all had, and Lord knows I've tried. Fortunately, corporate language is far, far more poetic and poignant than anything spoken by actual humans, and so it is GameStop that has accurately summarized the tragedy of this pandemic better than anybody else ever could. Be warned though, this is really heavy, sorrowful, but genuinely important stuff. It's, dare I say it, powerful. Consumer fears about exposure to the coronavirus may continue, which will adversely affect traffic to our stores. Consumer spending generally may also be negatively impacted by general macroeconomic conditions and consumer confidence, including the impacts of any recession resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic or other economic events. This may negatively impact sales at our stores and on our websites. Any reduction in customer visits to our stores and/or spending at our stores or on our websites will likely result in a loss of sales and profits and other material adverse effects. I'm sorry, it's just so beautiful, you know? Like, it's like World War I poems or The Land Before Time. Who speaks like that? And then we find out, despite the whole GameStop thing, despite the big stock explosion, their money didn't even really fucking change. Their revenue's down. It's down. Which just goes to show you how fucking arbitrary the stock market is. None of it's real. None of it is real. Go get fucking fucked, capital. Terrible developer and shameless plagiarist Gilson B. Pontes tried to destroy my livelihood by having my entire YouTube channel taken down, issuing, as he did, multiple false DMCA claims to have my videos on his awful games removed. The claims were spread over 3 consecutive days as a means of guaranteeing the 3 strikes required to terminate the channel, as per YouTube's easily abused policies. Gilson failed failed in his fraudulent attempts to beat the channel, not because YouTube stepped in to stop the abuse on their platform. They were content to say the dispute was none of their business, until I reminded all parties this wasn't my first dance, and I am more than happy to start bringing lawyers into it. So it is that Gilson failed, where so many others have failed. Most idiots would, in this situation, take the L and move on with their lives. The kind of toolbags who use copyright policies to harass others, however, are incapable of understanding their own failure. Otherwise, their entire circulatory system would shut down in horror at continuing to let such piteousness breathe. After last week's video, where I explained what Gilson did to me, what Gilson plagiarized, and what Gilson could face from my legal advisors if he insisted on persisting, Gilson persisted. Shortly after the Jimquisition went live on Monday, March 22nd, I received an all too familiar email from YouTube's copyright department telling me a claim was created by Gilson B shitting Pontes. He actually decided to have another go at me. This claim was issued toward my video on Samael, the legacy of whatever the fuck, a video Gilson had tried to take down once already. Failed. This was soon followed by a claim on last week's Jimquisition on Wednesday, March 24th. You'll notice we've been keeping a log of events. Fortunately, YouTube's fair use protections actually kicked in for me. I wonder what changed. So that's good. What's not so good is the fact that Gilson, having already perjured himself multiple times to the point of already having 5 fraudulent claims reversed, has simply been allowed to continue issuing claims with frivolous abandon. Despite already causing me more stress and hassle than he should have been allowed to, Gilson just gets to continue harassing me using Google's Hellsite video platform as a conduit. Why? Seriously, what the fuck, why even anyway? How has Gilson B Pontes not had his YouTube account terminated? Why hasn't he at least had his ability to issue claims removed? The fucking piece of shit perjured himself 5 times. That's what lying about DMCA violations is. It's what YouTube tells you you're doing if you abuse their system, and yet, despite committing perjury according to YouTube's own definition, I continue to receive unwanted emails from YouTube copyright because nobody faces consequences for continuing to have them sent. Last week I talked about the mental health concerns of content creators and how the atmosphere of paranoia and outright hostility encouraged by YouTube toward creators will only worsen the cases of extreme burnout and breakdowns we've seen in the space already. After years of conditioning, I've come to dread every single email I ever receive from YouTube. It's always bad news. Always something that requires time taken out of my day, and if it's not, it'll be one of the very few policy changes YouTube actually thought to inform us about, and it will be something upending and tumultuous and ill-fucking conceived. I do not like to receive emails from YouTube. They are their own unique form of stress, independent of the information inside them. Combined with my being understandably on edge from a weirdo's attempts to fuck with my life, it's been a real bad time for emails from YouTube. But while all this has been going on, I continue to receive regular Content ID claims on my other work, and you can imagine how right now, getting those extra emails from YouTube copyright sends a bigger than usual icy dagger into my heart. What I'm saying is I don't need the extra fucking stress, YouTube, you shitheads. Why? Why is Gilson allowed? Why is he allowed? Why is Gilson? Some folks like to give YouTube the benefit of the doubt to say their hands are tied by the DMCA and that to keep themselves out of disputes is fair self-preservation. Even if that's true, and I don't care if it is, YouTube's automated systems and lack of human oversight are so bad that for over half a fucking decade, random freaks like Gilson have been allowed to dishonestly abuse the platform for the purposes of harassment and outright erasure. Smaller channels have disappeared in numbers we'll never know fully, and channels like mine only survive all this fucking fraud because we have legal counsel not available to everyone. This is a subject that is not over. In the meantime, Gilson, mate, what are you doing? What are you actually doing with all of our time? I've been trying to work it out, which is difficult because for all your claims of ownership of my content, you're still a little bit of a mystery. But that's fine. I said if this continued, I would pursue all legal means of recompense. I have started this process. I cannot promise I'll get anywhere. You are, after all, very, 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 very good at covering your tracks. But that just makes me more curious. And if you want to get your hands dirty, darling, let's get into the fucking muck. This ends one of two ways, Gilson. But you fail in both of them, mate. Either we find you, take you to court, or hit you with some other penalty and you're dragged into the sunlight. Or none of that goes down, and you remain an impotent little sad sack that tried to destroy my work and failed like all the rest. I guess we'll see how it shakes down, but I won't stop. Trying to stop what keeps happening on YouTube's shit fucking platform.
Smells good. Ham. Oh, turkey.
Turkey risotto.
Oh, great. I was feeling a bit peckish.
Oh, what a foul joke.
I was feeling a bit peckish.
Oh, what a...
I say, do I detect a hint of turkey here?
Yes, but don't gobble it up all at once.
Oh, yes, very amusing.
Are these kebabs? Not turkey, are they?
Turkish.
The only time you ever cared was when you needed more easy money. I wanted to touch on this topic last week, but couldn't because goddamn Gilson got in the way. Recently, Activision once again got to crow about record-shattering revenue, having raked in the cash with extra on top. Thanks to coronavirus keeping everybody indoors and manipulative economies, getting people to spend and spend and spend once they're in the games they've bought. As a reward for helping the company achieve such incredible amounts of money, Activision laid a bunch of people off. More than 190 of them, in fact. Because that's what Activision does. It makes money hand over fist, then jettisons the staff to save more money and look even better to the investors. It's what I like to call faking the fuck out of your growth. As the game industry continues to see unsustainable levels of growth and rake in billions of dollars thanks largely to preying on vulnerable people with their predatory transactional systems, it has done nothing to improve the space like so many people naively claimed it would. Games didn't get cheaper, thanks to the obscene amounts of DLC and transactions like people claimed. In fact, games just literally got more expensive and continue to offer less and less content in the basic product, so that content can be sold separately at a markup. The money brought in from these over-monetized AAA games did not, as some children believe, encourage game publishers to fund smaller indie projects with the extra cash. Hell no. Major game publishers remain almost completely interested in huge cash grab titles and produce the same number of smaller games they always have, aka not much. And even then, they're angling to buy and ruin the studios that make them. As for the argument that game publishers making billions of dollars is good because it stops developers losing their jobs, people love to talk to me like I'm clueless because I don't know game development. It's true that I do not know how to make a game, but I know business, you clowns, and the game industry is nothing but another capitalist hellscape designed to enrich only a handful of powerful men. They're practically all men, while exploiting the fuck out of worker and customer alike. Don't believe me? Just look at the billionaire CEO of Activision and prick, Bobby Kotick. He has a net worth of $7 billion. Neither he nor his family will ever need money for as long as a Kotick walks the earth. He literally won at at America and could give everyone in America thousands of dollars while accruing so much interest on his hoarded wealth that he'd actually be richer after all the checks he sent had cleared. And yet, on top of the billions he already has, he takes $40 million a year out of the company in cash and benefits. And after laying off 190 people, he's in line for a bonus of $200 million. Yes, on top of those billions and billions, on top of the $40 million a year, $200 million, an amount worth literally $200 million to anyone but Bobby Kotick and his billionaire buddies. So fantastically wealthy they are that 200 mil might as well be pocket fucking change down the back of the bloody couch. I cannot with human words alone fully describe to you how much money we're talking here. Not just the 200 mil, but the sheer planet of cash that Bobby's already made. This is to say nothing of the millions and millions awarded to Activision's other executives, all of whom happily take it, while the company's lowest paid workers put in more effort than they ever will and are treated as completely disposable so that those who don't need money get to keep their money. Bobby Kotick, who makes over 300 times that of his average employee, who is listed as one of America's most grossly overpaid CEOs, whose company doesn't pay fucking tax. Bobby Kotick chose to ruin over 190 lives. That is what he did. Let's not dress it up. Over 190 Activision workers just lost their jobs while COVID-19 still has the world grinding to a snail pace, and finding employment is harder than ever. Bobby chose to let that happen right now because he wouldn't part with something useless to him. Because he wouldn't trade a fraction of respective pocket money for human well-being. But those laid off did get BattleNet gift cards. Fuck off. Every second a billionaire decides not to give thousands of dollars they'll never miss to every person in the nation is a second spent choosing to let their fellow country people go poor and starve and die of medical expenses. Yes, die of expenses, because let's face it, that's more lethal in America than any one disease or injury, and apparently that's not supposed to be fucked up. And if you don't live in America, don't worry about being left out. There's a good chance your leaders have found new and innovative ways to kill poor people as well. Literally every money-related problem you have, literally every single one, could be solved if just one single of these fuckfaces decided nobody had to have them. Instead, they keep it and hoard it and dribble little bits out in exchange for loyalty and labor. In the post-apocalyptic nightmare that is the world today, these billionaires are nothing more than worse-dressed Immortan Joes. And there are several people with that power. Power so unfathomable that to solve every single American's problems is actually fucking trivial to them. Kotick's one of them, and not only does he actively choose to let people die needlessly every single fucking day, he routinely has a direct hand in fucking up hundreds and hundreds of lives every single year, so he can take home another 200 million to throw on top of the piles and piles and piles of hundreds of millions of millions of millions of millions of millions of billions that the snivelly shitmouth already has. Do not date that man. Don't.
Squirting milk on my bosom.
I thought you were just like, it was like an emergency, like, you know, the little life rafts that
Oh, no,
so you can flight when something happens.
No, in my head, milk was squirting right out. Thank God for me.
That's the outro? That's gonna be the outro this week. Alright, fine, that's rare.